I have actually run client accounts that needed leads without ever having to build a website for them, just utilizing the power of lead generation. Facebook lead ads are a lead generation tactic used by marketers who acquire highly relevant prospects, right? There has been some great improvements on the Facebook lead ads process that they're important to note, but still the training is very valid and the strategy is actually quite powerful. So just with a few taps, you can get somebody to just click, and boom, they're in your central files. And now you can start building a relationship with them, which is the important thing that you have to actually get implemented. So why target lead ads on Facebook with ads? The pros and cons of running Facebook lead ads and how to set up a Facebook lead ads campaign, and then the lead generation strategies. So number of monthly active Facebook users were as of the quarter of 2019. Obviously, as you guys know, it's been exploding and more. There's a big audience and it's really diverse. And there's like now actually in total in the last report in 2020, then that we got January 2020, this last report shows that Facebook now has 2.9. So almost 3 billion people were active using one of the company's core products, which are Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, or Messenger every month. You guys realize that's almost half of planet Earth. And do you guys realize that out of that half, it's about 90% of the population, right, that is active online. So which means that 9 out of every 10 human beings that live on planet Earth and have access to the online world is actively using one of Facebook's core products. Wow, that is intense. Talk about monopoly of attention. I don't think any company, not even Zuckerberg himself, visualized the power of what he was about to create with the Facebook family of products. So the pros of running Facebook lead ads. Lead ads have something unique that distinguish them from the traditional lead generation campaigns. First and most important is the two-way advantage these types of campaigns offer marketers, as well as the potential prospects. So in-platform form submissions, quick form submission by autofill data. By autofill data, obviously, like if you have the phone number already on Facebook, which most of you guys, 90-something% of you guys do have it. If you have information about your business, your career, your job, that data is actually autofilled because it has been given to Facebook. No need to create a landing page, so you can create your own micro landing pages with Facebook lead ads. I have actually run client accounts that needed leads without ever having to build a website for them, just utilizing the power of lead generation. So no need to create a landing page at all when you use this. Mobile and user-friendly, they are so user-friendly. And in a world that is actually revolving around the mobile devices, it tells you how big of a deal it is to be able to have a platform that is so interactive on mobile that you can easily convert people and get them to respond to whatever your marketing message is. So disadvantages, of course they are, and it's my job to tell you what are the disadvantages so you really understand them and can make a decision as to which direction to go yourself. So like any campaign, you need to consider a couple of possible disadvantages. Not using landing pages, well, you don't get to season a pixel. You don't get to actually get people to a landing page that you can have maybe a ClickFunnels journey, an opt-in process, or an upsell, a cross-sell. You cannot really have those things if you're using a lead generation campaign on Facebook. You're not building that data on your website. You're not accumulating data so you can feed more data back to Facebook. So you're missing out on that particular thing. And then one thing that I personally have noticed throughout the years is that the quality of the lead tends to be lower. And let me tell you why it's lower. Because you're making people jump through less hoops on Facebook lead ads. It's so easy to do that anybody that's curious can click on a couple of buttons and just be a part of your central files. As simple as that. When you send people to an actual landing page or a website, people have to engage, usually more with you. They have to read more data. They have to scroll. They have to wait whatever that amount of load time your page has, whether that's 1 second or 5 seconds or however slow it may be. They have to wait. They have to enter their information. It's not pre-populated. They have to enter their phone number, their email, their names. So they have to jump through more hoops. So it's actually quite logical that because of the Facebook lead ad being so friendly and so seamless, you're going to have a reduced quality of leads. So if what you're looking for is something that is maybe doesn't have a high quality lead requirement, then Facebook lead ads might be for you. For example, if you're trying to run an evergreen promotional campaign for a product with a 10%, 20%, even 30% discount for your Amazon product, a Facebook lead ad might be exactly what you need. It can work quite well. Obviously, you guys know that I use ManyChat and Messenger a lot for those things, but I like to split test. So I have done a lot of campaigns using Facebook lead ads to deliver coupon codes to people and get people on my list because it's so user-friendly that if I want to get people on my list that I know I'm promoting a major discount or something that is actually unique, then Facebook lead ads could be a way for you to be able to do something effective. Okay, so, but it does tend to lower the quality of the leads. And there's a couple of things that you can do to improve that quality and make people commit a little bit more to the relationship with you before they actually give you their information. But there's something called higher intent on a lead ad in which you can actually make people double confirm that they want to send the information before they do. That way, when they do confirm it, then you have somebody that is a little bit higher on the scale of intent. So landing pages do matter. If you have the resource to create a landing page, you most likely want to do this, right? But this comes at the expense of sacrificing user experience, right? So you have to select one or the other. But again, in the end, it's all about you knowing the tools so you can split test and find out what works well for you. A well-designed landing page, not cluttered with info and a crappy form, asking millions of questions, can end up generating prospects that are actually interested in your product or service. On the contrary, Facebook's inbuilt form offers instant gratification like that, boom. Although a landing page can also enhance that instant gratification by providing more information regarding your product or service, right? So those are the things to keep in mind, right? So poor leads, acquiring poor leads is something that we all want to avoid, but at the end of the day, we know a certain percentage of poor leads is just part of the game we play, especially in the social media world. People keep talking to me about this all the time. The fact that, for example, a YouTube lead or a Google lead is actually way more qualified. Abso-freaking-lutely. Google and YouTube are search engines. So when somebody is searching for problems to handle, they are already ready to commit to whatever they find. And because of that, people tend to be more qualified than somebody on Facebook. Facebook, I like to compare it with you're going door-to-door knocking. You're trying to show people that you have a solution to a problem that they didn't even know they had or they weren't thinking about resolving at that particular moment. So the quality of a Facebook lead is absolutely 100% always going to be lower quality. That's just the name of the game. It's a part of it, and the good outweighs the bad. And because of that, you want to continue scaling. Okay, so if your audience targeting is off, you can end up with leads that are irrelevant. So the ninja tip is always to be testing, right? And you know, I talk about that quite a bit. Use a CBO campaign with Facebook ads and have multiple ad sets so that the Facebook algorithm can decide which ad set generates the best results. That way your budget will get redirected to the winning ad sets. This can help you diversify your marketing budget when it comes to lead acquisition. Okay, good. So how do we do this process of the lead ads? Well, let's just quickly go through it, right? So you go to create, lead generation budget. What is it going to be? Like you want to turn on the CBO over here. So at this point, it still looks like Facebook is going to be removing budgets at the ad set level. Am I excited about that? I don't know yet. That's still to be determined. And as soon as I have more data on this, I will come back and present it to you. But at this point, we have CBO and we have ABO, right? If you guys haven't heard the ABO term, it stands for ad set budget optimization. Basically, you have the ability to create a campaign, create audiences, and adjust the budget at the ad set level. With CBO, you cannot do that. With CBO, you have one campaign and you have ad sets inside, which you can do 5, 10, up to 75. And then you can select a maximum amount of money to be spent on an ad set, but you cannot adjust the budget for it. So as of this time, it looks like Facebook is going in the direction of artificial intelligence to the point that they want to have the ad sets on their own, make adjustments based on performance, and that's what CBO stands for. So you can just toggle that switch on because it looks like it's going away. The ability to adjust ad sets budgets individually And if it doesn't, at some point this year, we will find out and I'll come back and I will give you the strategy for it. Because at this point, I will tell you that if you really want to do testing of 5 audiences, if you really want to test $50 a day on every single audience, it might make sense to actually do ad set optimization and just throw the ad sets without a CBO for $50 each day and get Facebook some data so you can really find out. Because if you do a CBO, Facebook will spend the money on each one in however way they feel like before they get enough data. For now, let's stick with the CBO until we get more data on this. Okay, so you can select your Facebook page. There's going to be an option over here that you're going to have to accept the Facebook's lead ads terms. Super simple. It's an explanation about what you do with this policy, with the data, if you're going to not share it outside the organization, etc. You accept to that, and then off you go. And then you will want to target your warmest audience, as these are the ones that already know your brand and would convert better compared to targeting a brand new interest-based cold audience. So you go over here, you select your audience. I don't recommend ever going for people that don't know who you are. And you know that I talk about that. And I want to have you guys get your content system in place so you can start spreading your message for your brand, for your business, and then you start building retargeting. If you have a great promotion that is almost like the Godfather said, it's an offer that they can't refuse, right? If you have a really solid promotion, you are going to be able to get away with a cold audience targeting. If you're going after a lookalike audience, then you can get away with that great offer. Or when you're going after a highly targeted audience with an incredible offer, then you can get away with a cold audience. But other than that, you have to do the warm audience if you want to generate an actual lead that might be a potential customer of your business. So for your first lead generation campaign, select automatic placement. Since you don't have any data yet on which placement convert best for your audience, you want to give it some time. The good thing about it is that Facebook lead ads have opened up to almost all the other placements. They are on Instagram now. They're on Facebook. You're able to generate leads like on stories, like all over the place. So you want to have automatic because there's more options. And again, it takes about a total of 2 to 3 clicks, depending on how you set up, for somebody to be in your central files with phone number and email. It's actually quite magical once you have this thing running, and it's super, super effective. So here's an example from one of the accounts. You can actually now have a placement breakdown, and you can see here that it's going to show you, well, on stories, we actually paid $6 per result. That's pretty high. On Facebook stories, we paid even more, $8.28. But on Facebook newsfeed, $3.23. And on Instagram feed, we got $3.42. Facebook newsfeed desktop is the cheapest one, actually the same as a newsfeed on mobile. It's at $3.24. And the cheapest one is actually Facebook Marketplace mobile app. For some reason, this one was separated. I'll tell you why. Okay, so you see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth one is Facebook Marketplace. So this is the actual Facebook eBay, right? This one got us a lead at $2.60. Isn't that fascinating? I could imagine how, for example, coupon hunters, bargain hunters, people that are trying to save money, you can probably do a campaign exclusively on the Facebook Marketplace for leads. And you're going to be able to get a very high conversion because these people are looking for discounts. So why not use that feedback to just create a campaign just for that and run it by itself? And then you can now get this data and create a new CBO campaign and select the same audiences, but now edit the placements and go after Facebook mobile app, Instagram mobile app, and Facebook Marketplace. Boom. And now you can have something that you can really scale and produce a lot of leads with, because those ones were actually also the ones that produce the most leads. Well, Marketplace, I see here that didn't get enough placements. It didn't get enough impressions. It was only 1 lead. So it doesn't have the volume, but it gives you an idea. If you want to generate a lot of leads, you can look at that data right there, just like that. Okay, great. So you can see here an example of an ad. You know, it's possible to have insurance cover your deductibles and copays. Learn how by reading this article. So we have this particular article. It generates a lead, and then we deliver the particular information to the person very easily. So you can just create your first form by pressing a couple of buttons, and you can see how it looks. Learn more about your Medicare supplementary plans. You may be missing out on a lot of benefits. Fill out the form below, and then they can sign up by providing the information below. So you can see here, we have a headline. We can use the image that we're using from our ad. You can actually use an uploaded image. This is for the micro page that you're building as a lead ad form. And then you can have a paragraph, or you can have bullet points. Where it says layout on this screenshot on the left, you can swap that from paragraph to bullet points. And then if you have a bullet points, I think the bullet points look very nice. So you can just select the one that you want to actually put in there. And it's where you can actually increase the quality of the lead, because you can describe in detail what they're going to get once they provide their information. You can put bullet points, like you're going to get a 40% discount. You're going to get a special instruction on how to use this product. You're going to get instruction on how to buy the product. You're going to get whatever it is that they're going to get. You're going to describe it right there and just do your branding to make sure that you position your brand as a brand that is actually there to help them and provide value to themselves as individuals. This is how it starts looking. So, for example, you have an image right there that says born before 1954. Well, what does that mean? That in this particular example, they are going to be 65 years and over, right? So at this point, we know that data that, hey, we're going to give you more information, learn more about your Medicare plans, enter your answer. That's going to be auto-populated. And then you can see here the two options on the form type, which is either more volume or higher intent. Again, if you do the higher intent option, people are going to have a review step before they actually submit the information. And that review step is going to be something that is going to tell them, hey, just so you know, this is what you're going to get. Are you sure you want to send this data? If they say yes, you have a much higher intent individual. And that is the purpose of that particular step right there. That's a step that you got to set up yourself and decide if you want to go down a higher volume or a higher intent. Okay, and then once you create it, there's a couple of little things right here. You're going to have a little thank you screen at the bottom. Privacy policy, you can put a page from your website that directs them to a privacy policy. If you don't have that in place, you can Google privacy policy template and go ahead and grab that and just have your developer or yourself create a little landing page with your privacy policy and just get them to that particular thing. We will not share your data. There's a bunch of if you Google privacy policy, you can get a lot of examples and just grab your favorite one and customize it for yourself. And that is your privacy policy right there. The questions tab is exactly what it does. It provides the ability to ask questions, email, phone number, address, date of birth, a lot of different things that you can ask for. A little caveat over here that I'm going to mention to you guys. If you're doing recruiting, do not ask questions like age, income, things like that, because you are going to get your account banned. They don't want you to discriminate like that. If you are doing, for example, something that is environmental or it has a political connection, well, then you don't want to ask too many questions, because Facebook is actually getting very strict about those things across social media. But if it's just product or just development of you're trying to generate leads, etc., it's super simple and nothing too fancy. Okay, so you select your lead, and then it's going to look like this. And you have your lead form that's going to work on mobile devices and Instagram channel. And it's super, super simple and friendly. Even on desktop devices, it will work quite well.